Taiwan, I'm Yvonne Young with news from here in Taiwan and around the world. The government says a first round of trade talks focused on Donald Trump's tariff policy has wrapped up in Washington. The Trump administration last month announced a 32% tariff on Taiwanese goods, but he later put a 90-day pause on all new tariffs except those aimed at China. Deputy Premier Zheng Lijun and trade negotiator Yang Zhenni have been in the U.S. to start working out a tariff deal. The government's Office of Trade Negotiations says it's hopeful for a mutually beneficial solution. Taiwan's Navy has bought 400 U.S.-made Harpoon anti-ship missiles, with the first shipment expected before the end of 2026. These weapons are expected to complement two of Taiwan's homegrown missiles, boosting the country's ability to defend itself against Chinese incursions.
这雄三飞弹因为它的产能比较少它专门负责高价值目标比如说敌军的航舰或登陆舰或大型的军舰等等但是呢，剩下的其他目标呢，就交给鱼叉飞弹来处理
Analysts also say the fact these U.S. missiles use a different radar system than the Taiwanese missiles will complicate Chinese attempts to take Taiwan. The top U.S. military commander for the Indo-Pacific region says the speed of China's defense production could make defending against the Taiwan invasion more difficult. Admiral Samuel Paparo made the comments at a U.S. think tank event. He said that for every 6 warships China makes, the U.S. makes only 1.8. He said that while the U.S. would beat China in the Taiwan Strait conflict today, every 4th element is on a bad trajectory. Paparo also said China's decision whether to invade would be based in part on the will and probability of Allied assistance to Taiwan. A new report by a Swedish think tank says global defense spending saw its steepest rise in 2024, the most since the end of the Cold War. Adil Brar reports.
Wars, rising tensions, and the world on edge. 2024 saw the steepest jump in defense spending in over 3 decades. Global defense spending rose by a staggering 9.4%, according to the Stockholm International Peace Research Institute. More than 100 countries boosted their military budget. The institute's researcher Xiao Liang says this rise in defense spending is unprecedented.
It was the highest year-on-year increase since the end of the Cold War. And we also saw spending increased in all regions in the world. So it was really a global across-the-board trend.
In Europe, the war in Ukraine was a clear impetus. European leaders have called for dramatically increasing defense spending. Fears over the future U.S. commitment to NATO under Donald Trump also played a role.
If Europe is to survive, it must be armed. It is not our choice. I am not a militarist.
Even before President Trump's return to power, his skepticism towards alliances had already pushed European nations to ramp up arms production and strategic independence. In 2024, military spending in Europe, including Russia, went up by 17% to $693 billion. This was the greatest contributor to global increase.
So European countries were already trying to boost their strategic autonomy and self-reliance in arms production before Trump's election.
In the Middle East, Israel's invasion of Gaza and Lebanon fueled another sharp rise in defense budgets. Yet, for much of that region, a larger arms race has been delayed for now. Future spending may hinge on fragile peace deals holding up. In Asia, China remained the world's second largest military spender after the US. In 2024, China's military budget was $314 billion adjusted for inflation. That's nearly 8 times what it was in 2004. Now, several countries in the Indo-Pacific, including Japan, India, and the Philippines, are responding to China's military buildup by increasing their defense expenditure. Record military spending might buy security, but it comes as a cost. Around the world, countries are diverting money from schools, hospitals, social welfare, and climate action to fuel a new arms race. The more nations spend to arm themselves, the more fragile peace becomes. And a new era characterized by suspicion and mistrust between rival powers beacons. Eason Chen and Adil Brad for TaiwanPlus.
Australia's Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has secured a historic second term, pulling off a major comeback in an election fueled by backlash against US President Donald Trump.
And our government will choose the Australian way because we are proud of who we are and all that we have built together in this country. We do not need to beg or borrow or copy from anywhere else.
Current projections show Albanese's Labour Party securing a comfortable majority. The Conservative Liberal Party leader Peter Dutton, who has been dogged by comparisons to Trump, lost his own parliamentary seat in the state of Queensland. It's the first time in Australian history that a federal opposition leader has been unseated in a general election. Singapore's ruling People's Action Party won a landslide victory in the country's general election, its 14th consecutive victory. The PAP won all but 10 seats in the parliament. The others went to the Workers' Party. It's the most seats ever held by an opposition party. Singapore has effectively had one-party rule for decades, with the PAP ruling the country since before independence in 1965. The party received more than 65% of the popular vote, which is often taken as a measure of their mandate. One of East Asia's largest religious pilgrimages has reached its turnaround point in southern Taiwan. For the village of Beigang, an event meant to spread divine blessings is temporarily bringing young people back to an otherwise aging community. Bring Thomas there.
Every spring, hundreds of thousands of pilgrims arrive in this part of Yunlin, waking up its sleepy streets. Like many communities in this part of Taiwan, Beigang has seen many of its young people leave over the last few generations. These streets that you see behind me are usually empty apart from a few elderly people.
当然很兴奋啦，因为其实我以前都嘛是走中途而已，然后今年是第一次从巴沙屯走到北港，对，蛮有挑战自己的，蛮有挑战性的。
因为马祖的灵验，我亲身就感到马祖救我好多次，所以我虽然快80岁了，我就是只能够有这个机会，就是为马祖服务，就跟他走一走。
After 2 days and 2 nights of walking, this year's Baisha-ten Mazu pilgrimage has arrived at Chaotian Temple in Beigang. Now, upwards of 600,000 people are thought to be here right now. In 2010, this event only attracted about 5,000 registered walkers. Last year, it was up to 180,000. At the beginning of April this year alone, it was at 200,000. Many of the people joining the event are young people.
I think because maybe in your life you have some trouble or something problem you want to pray, and then maybe I think the Mazu will give us like the belief to understand what we're gonna do next and give it our some direction.
Mazu, the goddess of the sea, is Taiwan's most worshipped folk deity. Following her is believed to spread her blessings. For Beigang, the brief return of young people and tourism dollars are added benefits.
这种怎么讲？好，就觉得很感动啊！对，年轻人能跟着老一代的这样再传承下去，真的，很快乐啦。
As Mazu's followers begin their journey back north, this community will once again quiet down. But residents here can rest assured that with more and more young people joining the pilgrimage, their traditions are sure to endure. Ryan Wu and Bryn Thomas in Yunlin County for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwan's Pavilion at its Expo 2025 in Osaka is officially open. The country is using the event to highlight its digital innovation and cultural beauty. But it's not all about the pavilion, it's also about what people are wearing. Sandy Chi has more.
Meet the guides of Tech World. They're ready to take visitors on a journey through Taiwan's Pavilion at Expo 2025 in Osaka, promising an experience of Taiwan's beauty and digital power. And if you look closely, even their uniforms can transport visitors to the heart of the island nation. The outfits, designed by Liao Jialing, known as the Queen of Uniforms in Taiwan, are the result of months of planning. The design is inspired by a unique Taiwanese tree, the Taiwania fir, the only tree in the world that includes Taiwan in its botanical name. It's hard for Taiwan to present itself on the world stage. Here at Expo 2025, like at many other international events, it doesn't have an official pavilion. Liao says she used the fir, which the country's indigenous Lukai people call the tree that touches the moon, as a symbol of Taiwan's cultural roots.
有一种树木叫做台湾杉，那我很希望借用这个台湾杉，能够让世界人看到。虽然我们台湾的政治处境，我们不能常常用台湾出名，可是我们可以用台湾杉来表现台湾的物种。
The uniforms are made of earth-toned, eco-friendly fabrics, featuring digitally printed, sketch-style illustrations.
我们也用了很多的环保的布料，像里头就有保特瓶回收，这是最基本的，还有牡蛎壳，所以这些都是台湾特有的布料。
From research and design to fabric selection and production, Liao says these uniforms are the most challenging pieces she's crafted in her 35-year career. Many of the details are made by hand, and she says the fabrics made it difficult to embroider.
我们也希望，因为借由这样子的工序，能够让虽然只是一个导览人员的制服，可是我希望让他们看到台湾的工艺。
Liao also took practicality into account, knowing the guides will have to wear the uniforms through different seasons and temperatures. The jacket has 50 hidden buttons, allowing guides to easily remove the sleeves if needed. Their uniforms are inspired by the look of an explorer ready to embark on a journey. It's meant to show Taiwan's resilience and pride, standing strong on the global stage despite all the challenges ahead. Hence, Pichi Zhuang and Sanichi in Osaka for TaiwanPlus.
In Indonesia's capital, Jakarta, Vespa lovers are transforming the iconic Italian scooters into electric vehicles while keeping their love for tradition intact. Adele Boar has the story.
They may look vintage, but these Vespas are making history in a new way. In the heart of Indonesia's capital, Jakarta, a growing community is converting old gas-powered scooters into electric vehicles, keeping the style but ditching the smoke.
Vespa itu punya desain yang cukup unik ya, dan saya ngelihatnya juga punya nilai historical gitu. Ya, ada nostalgianya. Jadi banyak hal yang sebenarnya bukan cuma berkendaranya ya, tapi secara fashionnya juga.
Harpoon is head of a new garage in Jakarta called Elders. With respect and care for the classic machines, they handle the conversions. Out with the old, in with the new. Indonesia faces a rising pollution crisis, with cities like Jakarta blanketed in smog from millions of motorbikes. Elders now wants to be part of the solution.
Modifikasi Vespa di garage kita, dan pada waktu itu kita kepikiran kayaknya ke depannya Vespa elektrik nih bisa jadi something yang solusi buat negara-negara yang memang mewajibkan motornya dengan emisi rendah gitu kan.
For customers like Dimas Sidiartmo, it's not about letting go of tradition, it's about evolving with it.
Paling di perempatan kita sering ditanyain ya, Mas, kok nggak ada suaranya ya gitu. Harus aku sekalian jelasin, ini udah dikonversi listrik. Oh bisa ya, iya di mana? Gini. Sedikit mengasih edukasi ke orang-orang lah bahwa ya bisa loh, kita tetap make barang kesayangan kita, Vespa kesayangan kita.
For Harpoon and his crew, every quiet ride is a small victory. For design, for heritage, and for the environment. Kama Shu and Adil Brar for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. You can visit the TaiwanPlus website or follow us on social media for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Now before we go, check out the Water and Light show at Expo 2025 in Osaka. I'm Yvonne Yang. Take care, and I'll see you next time.
For more stories from Taiwan and around the world, follow TaiwanPlus on socials. Pika!